Yes.
Now, we are made of the dust of the universe. We are made of atoms. We are interacting with every single thing on the universe. There's this consciousness that human beings have in relationship to animals or plants or whatever. But my question has to do with the free will that we think we have. If we are a dance of the universe, and if we are all connected, how possible is it that we have actually a free will, or we're just dancing? We think we're dancing individually and that I'm creating something, but it's actually, we're just reacting as there's a bigger will of the universe, or just a bigger movement in the universe that's making us move in a certain direction as a whole. Because obviously, it's the whole of humanity that's going into this transition with the planet as part of the universe. But we are all one.
Right.
So, in what way does consciousness, how much we can believe that we are actually impacting what's happening, where we are just navigators in this journey?
Right. It's a very good question, and basically, it is both, meaning that it's the collective of all decisions in the universe that produces the flow. So each individual decisions matter. However, if an individual or even a group of individuals is trying to make decisions that are going against the flow, then they're most likely not gonna make it. And you see that in nature all the time. Things that don't work, things that become irrelevant are usually eliminated by nature, right? And basically, this is a little bit of what we've done with our civilization. We've tried to go against the flow of nature, against higher level of coherency, against, the natural, self-sustaining, collaborative systems of nature, and we've become very destructive. We've destroyed our environment very rapidly, almost in 150 years of industrialization, and we're about to be wiped out by nature. Nature's just not going to tolerate it. So this is our opportunity to realize that there is a fundamental flow, that we can harmonize with it, and that when we do, then we have access to infinite amount of energy, infinite amount of support by nature, when we harmonize by the universe as a whole. So, you can try to go against the flow, and you might have noticed in your personal life, when you try to go against the flow, it usually doesn't give you very good result. But and so it's really a big turnaround for
what
necessary.
decides the timing that when humans have gone against the flow? Like, we have 2,000 years of known history that we have been building all along the way with a lot of pillars that have gone against the flow, or we become to believe that there are certain truths that we believe they were true, and now we are realizing that they weren't true. So how long? Because this period of building these ideas, which are proving to be the wrong ideas, it's been 2,000 years per se.
Right.
And now we are on the verge of a change that is pushing. Most of people are having these curiosities and starting to think by themselves that we don't need to depend on powers that govern us, that we can be more people that we can think for ourselves, and by alignment we don't need to depend on government or religions or things like that. So that's why I meant by this timing, that there's a timing in the universe that things are changing in our solar system because we are going in the spiral up. And this is a coincidence with the changing humanity's consciousness as well as in the change of the earth. So is this consciousness coming from rays, like cosmic rays,
yes,
that are helping us to open our eyes? Do you think so?
It's a combination of both. We've gone far into destruction and, competition and wars and all this. And that has taught us, through pain, a lot about ourselves and maybe what we want to do next and what we don't want to bring with us next. So that's internal. But at the same time, there's external stressors, that are pushing us to shake us, to say, hey, wake up, you guys. Things are about to change and people are sensing that. And it's like, okay, we got to make the shift. So I think there's both, and it's kind of compiling at this point and bringing us to a nexus, in that change. And I wanted to, it's seemingly seen to be appropriately timed by the Mayan calendar, where the Mayan calendar, I was talking to elders that was discussing it, and they were saying that actually, according to the tradition, the year 2011 would be the first year where it goes up in intensity, the earth changes. And the Mayan calendar 2011 year started on March 10, which was, the great tsunami in Japan and all this. So it was so incredibly precisely timed, because definitely that cataclysm brought everything up to the next level of changes.
Yeah, and it was shaken. Now with globalization, it's like whatever happens in Japan it's happening to us in one way or the other, because we are living it by the moment.
Right. And as well, it's showing us that the technology that we've been using, like nuclear power plants and the engineering we've been using, and, like placing a nuclear power plant on a fault line in front of an ocean, all these things, that those are naive engineering approaches, and that we need to do something much better.
Yeah, and that's why Germany has quit the plans on nuclear power plants. And
that's right, and other countries are, at least there's some wisdom that's being gained there.
About your double torus, I got a question. I know that you probably calculated this through mathematical formulas and stuff like that, but it seems to be so related to the chakra systems, like the energy on the upper chakra going up, spiraling up, and the energy on the first chakra spiraling down, and then the heart chakra in the singularity point. Did you got any inspiration by the chakra system when you started unveiling this?
Yes, actually, absolutely.
Yeah.
I started meditating when I was 11, and I knew about the chakra system earlier on, and certainly at the beginning of my research, almost some 30 years ago, these concepts were already present, and then when I studied ancient civilization, it showed that these concepts were present in the ancient civilization all around the world. And then when I start to study the physics of spin, the structure of space-time and all this, it all kind of came together. Yeah, so it was inspiring for me.
You call the singularity point the one in the equator where things meet.
Yes.
If the spiraling energy is going up is one of the positive or negative, I don't know, it's positive, it's like...
Well, you can, yes, you can flip it around, doesn't matter.
Let's say, if the spiraling up is positive energy and the spiraling down is negative energy, then what kind of energy is this singularity point where they both meet?
Okay, so where the spin and counterspin meet, you have stillness. Like in the middle of the hurricane, you have stillness, right? More still the center point is, faster the hurricane spins and more power it has. And so this is, equivalent there. So basically, the vacuum structure, the energy of all the spins in the universe cancel out at singularity to produce absolute stillness.
How important that singularity point is? Why
It's
does it exist? I mean,
Well, why does it exist is a deep question. You could say it exists because all spins are existing, and since all spin exists, it cancels out at the center of every spin.
would it be that from the singularity the spins start, or
That's right.
so this is the mother of the spinning?
That's right. This is the center of existence. This is the point where all knowledge is available in its potential. It's the center of your existence.
So
And
emptiness would be like they cancel out, so it's empty. It's like emptiness would be, well, we are empty. You know, we're made of atoms that are
Mostly
infinite,
space.
and they don't touch each other. So, you know, one way or another, we are empty, and this is the basis of everything. The emptiness. From emptiness, everything arises.
That's right. And that's why so many masters ask people to turn their senses inward and go towards that point of stillness at the center of their consciousness, because that is the link to the rest of the universe. This is the link to all knowledge. This is the link to God, if you'd like to.
So, in the case of our humanity, as human beings, we have developed in this modern society more the characteristics of our ego and the personality more so than the spirit. We are so focused on the outside world and more so than the inside world in general terms. If that is the essence, why do we have such huge obstacles in our human characteristics like the ego and the personality that don't allow us to just live there and be that?
You know, it's mostly because of our upbringing. It's because of the evolution of our society is not very high, and we've lost touch, you know, with this deeper meaning, this deeper knowing, and we have thought that everything is external to us. We've thought that we are separated from everything else, and you know, we've been taught that that's the way our society has been formed. And so since it's a very young, it's like a teenager that doesn't know, that hasn't been understood. Although masters after masters have come to try to explain this to us. And this is why the physics is so important, is because then when you start to, in our society, when you start to realize it in terms of the mathematics and the physics actually telling you that really is how it works, now you have a base to turn your civilization around.
So what you are actually doing is bridging the gap between science and religion, or science and mysticism, I must say.
Yes.
More clearly.
That's right.
Bridging the gap between science and mysticism for a left-brained society that needs like rational, scientific proof of what mystics have been telling us for ages.
That's right.
And through the formulas that you've developed, we are finding that we are all one after all.
That's right. That's
amazing.
Yes, that all these advanced beings that told us about this were correct, and here is actually the math that shows that that is actually true, and how it works. And that's really important, is that now with the math and the physics we can figure out exactly what are the mechanics that makes that true, that makes the fact that everything is connected, that everything is one. And now with the mechanics we can really transcend this civilization.
So